What's good, everybody? So we are back. We are going to be doing our Cool Kids review of Transformer: Rise of the Beast. You know the crew, you know myself. So I'm going to start our first, then Cinematic Sterling, then Geek Informant, and Kitchen Aid Whiskey Jones. So Transformer: Rise of the Beast is another step in the right direction. After Bumblebee, the sense of humor lands better. Lands better. The human story with Noah, played by Anthony Ramos, was better than I thought it was going to be. I was glad to see some of the Autobots and their G1 look, even though Transformer fans will have nitpicks, complained about some of the other looks of Mirage, Scourge, in the direction with Wheeljack. I thought Pete Davidson, who played Mirage, was pretty good, very entertaining, less annoying. The CGI was very solid for most of the film. You could tell who's fighting who. You can kind of see what's going on for the most part. The final battle is where the CGI becomes very recognizable, and the audience will have trouble watching with what's going on. I thought the director Stephen Capel Jr. did a good job with this one. He's the one who directed Creed 2. The direction was decent and very watchable, so I thought he did a good job. I love the classic hip hop music, especially the Wu Tang Clan, uh, Wu Tang Clan, LL Cool J, and just a variety of Biggie and a variety of other classic '90s music. Uh, get the audience into the film, and one of the best parts of the movie as well. It gets more people amped up towards the end of the movie. Um, I like the direction of Optimus Prime, who did not trust the humans when we first met him, but it was a good story direction where it was later paid off. Even though the story was very predictable, it was a fun film to watch as it unfolded. As a fan growing up with the Beast Wars, this is my negative. Fan growing up with the Beast Wars from the '90s, I was disappointed I didn't get a chance to see enough of the Maximals. I love the opening with the Maximals, and I thought Ron Perlman, who played Optimus Primal, did a great job. Period is set in the '90s. Voicing the period set in the '90s was okay, but you can kind of tell it didn't feel like it was in the '90s. I also had trouble with. I didn't really like the voice actor for Unicron, who, if you've seen the original cartoon in the movies, Unicron has a very more intimidating, memorable voice. This one was just very forgettable.
Orson Welles was the
But
original.
right. But overall, it's a fun popcorn movie. It's worth checking out for a matinee. So my score I give it is a 7 out of 10. There we go.
So I'm not super nostalgic when it comes to Transformers. Like, I watched a couple of the cartoons, like growing up on Cartoon Network. Like, I remember watching Armada, Energon, Cybertron, and Transformers Animated. And I also saw the first three movies in theaters, and boy, oh boy, they have not aged well. I haven't seen four and five, which is probably a good thing. And I haven't seen Bumblebee, despite hearing really good things about it. So I wasn't super excited for this movie, but I was hoping to give it a chance because it can't be any worse than Bayformers. And what I thought it was a decent, fun movie. One of the big things that worked for me was the humor. It was actually pretty funny, unlike the Bayformers movies. There's no racist jokes or jokes about masturbation. I found myself laughing a lot, especially when it came to Pete Davidson as Mirage. Because normally I don't find him funny. I actually think he's kind of annoying. But here, he was actually funny. Acting is solid from everyone. Like Peter Cullen, Michelle Yeoh, Peter Dinklage. Like, Peter Cullen is still awesome as Optimus Prime. He just has such an awesome voice. And Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal, he was great too. The action scenes are a lot of fun, and they're not the typical explosion, shaky cam, bullshit you'd see from the Bayformers movies. You can actually see what's happening. And even though they're not in the movie as much as I wish they would be, even though they're not in the movie as much, I thought the Beast got some pretty badass moments as well as the Autobots. When it comes to my issues, I did think there was some cringy moments that made it from the Bayformers movies, like Mirage pissing oil Like, really? Come on. And some of the Transformers being stereotyped, like Wheeljack being like this stereotypical nerdy hippie with a thick Mexican accent, and Stratosphere just being a typical old drunk. It's not as bad as Mudflap and Skids or the Ninja Turtles in the Platinum Dunes movies, but it's still pretty distracting. I also don't think the human characters are very interesting, and they're pretty bland. Sometimes this movie does suffer from the issue of too many humans and not enough robots, but not as bad as the other movies, because at least because this one's actually short, unlike the other ones. And when I said for the most part the CGI looked good, when it came to the big climax, the CGI and the green screen looked pretty rough. I can tell everything looked fake. The green screen was very noticeable, especially when she was hanging above the lava. And then you have the Mega Man suit at the end. Like, it didn't look good. It's not as bad as post-Endgame MCU or Morbius, but it's still super distracting. But overall, despite my issues, this was a fun watch. I'd say if you're a Transformers fan or were disappointed by the Bayformers movies, I'd say give this one a watch at a low matinee price. But if not, I'd say either wait for streaming or just see Across the Spider-Verse instead. I'd give it a light 7 out of 10.
Am I good to go? If I had a nickel for every 2023 sequel to a 2018 movie featuring Haley Steinfeld that also features Luna Lauren Velez, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. With that joke out of the way, again, I'm not a huge Transformers fan. I think I watched some of the animated series early 2000s when I was a kid. I watched the first 2 Bayformers movies after Revenge of the Fallen. I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching this garbage anymore. Went to go see Bumblebee because I like Haley Steinfeld. She's nice to look at. So I'm like, sure, why not? And it was really fucking good. So I was naturally excited for this movie. I'm like, okay, now we're starting to get somewhere. And I like the director, as Rome said, he directed Creed 2. So I was kind of excited for this movie, even when everyone was saying it was going to be garbage. I'm like, you know what? Let's see. I think they'll keep the good streak going. And they definitely did. I do think Bumblebee is better, but I still really, really like this movie. I liked the human characters. Well, mainly Noah, the other chick whose name I don't even remember. I liked him. Like, he had like the typical, like, oh, brother's sick, family's kind of poor, like he's doing all this stuff. I get that, but like it still worked. Like these things become cliches for a reason, and it worked here. Like, I liked his character. The kid did a really good job. He was identifiable, relatable. He acted pretty well. I liked the performance. The kid was good. Even though I don't really remember that much, she was kind of the plot device to be like, hey, archaeology stuff. I know that shit. So it's like, she kind of had America Chavez syndrome from Doctor Strange too, where she felt more like a plot device than a character. And I didn't really remember much of her character, so like it could be worse. It could be Shia LaBeouf. So so with that, the human characters were fine. As Devin said, I was not completely annoyed by Pete Davidson so much that it made me want to put a nail gun to my temple. So that's definitely a plus. He was annoying at times, but he wasn't the worst thing ever. But it also helped that I didn't have to see his insanely punchable face. So there is that as well. I thought, Peter Cullen, fucking Peter Cullen. There is no other greater Optimus Prime. Like, it's just not no. They're doing an animated Transformers movies next year, and he's not going to be in it. And I'm really curious with how that's going to fucking turn out. So, he's still the greatest for a reason. Liza Koshy wasn't too annoying as the motorcycle chick, RC, I think her name was. But yeah, Wheeljack, Stratosphere, they were like okay, but Michelle Yeoh, Ron Perlman, mainly the Maximals were also really good. Peter Dinklage was great. So all the Transformers voice work did, like, nobody can touch Peter Cullen, but everyone else did a really good job. The CGI for the most part was very good. Like, pretty much our low bar nowadays is MODOK's ass from Quantumania. So as long as you're better than that, then you're good in my book. Like, you're fine. Like, as long as you're not Mr. Electric, discount Mr. Electric, you're good. And here it was great. Yes, the CGI was noticeable with the mech suit, and his head was kind of just like floating there, and a couple green screen shots, but for the most part, it was still what made up for it in the climax was the climax itself. The action was great. It was so fun. It was enthralling. It was so entertaining. Yeah, it's again a lot of the tropes with a lot of the plot was like, oh, we have to, it's the fetch quest for the magical MacGuffin. It's like, all right, sure, like it's a Transformers movie. It's not gonna be, Shakespeare, so I'll give him that. Um, yeah, if I had to say anything bad about it, is that there were some bouts of like predictability, a little bit of eye rolling, cringy humor from time to time, a lot of like cheesy, like melodramatic moments here and there. But I had a lot of fun with this movie. I didn't expect like a ton. I just expected a good Transformers movie, and that's what I got. I liked the performances. I liked the CG. I liked the action. I liked the music. I'm not a big rap fan, but I liked how the Diaz's were Mets fans. That's good. Love that. Um, but yeah, for the most part, I had a really fun time with it. And again, not knowing a ton about Transformers, I thought it was a good movie. I would say go out and go see this, even if you're not like the biggest Transformers fan, because it's still like a really fun time. Like if you've seen Across the Spider-Verse like 10 times already and you want something new, then I would recommend seeing this. You could see something a hell of a lot worse. It could be like fucking Beau is Afraid or something. So, with that, I would give this a 7 out of 10. I wasn't surprised or anything, but I enjoyed my time with it, and I'm glad I went to go see it in a theater.
With people.
With people.
People.
People who need people.
That's right. Prime rules everything around me. Preem get the money. Getting Inner John, y'all.
People are people, so why should it be you and I should get along so awfully?
All right. This was one of my most anticipated films of the year, as I've been a Transformers fan since I watched the original cartoon as a kid in the early 80s. I even enjoyed most of the Bayformers films, messy as they were, even if the last couple of entries were especially god-awful, even for me. So does this one stack up? Not completely, but for the most part, yes. It's not exactly a game changer, taking the franchise in a new direction like Bumblebee. In fact, much of it feels more reminiscent of the Bayformers films than that little gem. And thus, unsurprisingly, these are the things that largely hold it back. Many of the same tropes are there, including a plot centered around a MacGuffin with planetary disruptive potential, sought by some random big bad, a predictable script full of lazy writing, bewildered humans as allies, an exotic international setting, a bombastic score, 2-bit international speak, 2-bit inspirational speeches to motivate the hero to dig deep and beat the odds, that typical melodrama, as my dude John said, etc. However, it also does some of those same things right while adding some new twist. For one, the film adds some much needed character development, as not only Noah but Optimus Prime himself must overcome their mutual distrust and learn to work together. Prime blames Noah, played by Anthony Ramos, for the death of Bumblebee and wants to use the artifact to go home to Cybertron, Earth be damned, while Noah wants to destroy it to save the Earth from being destroyed by Unicron. We're so used to seeing Robot Jesus have all the answers that it's a bit intriguing to see him in the learner's pot for a change. It's a bit sobering when Optimus Primal at one point says he's not the Prime I expected him to be. So this is more like a younger Prime who's kind of just starting out, really doesn't trust humans. Anthony Ramos' Noah Diaz is given an interesting backstory that helps the audience relate to him. For another, the humor actually works in this film. Pete Davidson is genuinely good as Mirage, and he has solid chemistry with Anthony Ramos. Their scenes together are they're genuinely hilarious. Additionally, the threat feels real here. Peter Dinklage makes the Terracon leader Scourge a commanding presence, more than a match for both Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal. Speaking of everyone's favorite giant robot ape, he and his fellow Maximals add a lot of fun to the film. They look great. It's a blast to see them in action. They're a welcome addition to the franchise, and if they don't get their own film after this, it's a crime. Also, despite a score that's grown kind of stale from overusage, that same theme they use in every single Transformers film, the old 90s, the classic 90s rap music used in the film more than made up the difference. Wu-Tang! Motherfuckers. Finally, the big fight at the end, despite a few flaws, totally thrilled this viewer at least. We get plenty of awesome moments of giant robots tearing each other to pieces. We get lots of hell yeah moments, including Bumblebee's big return. If I had a complaint, it would be that Optimus Primal disappears at one point as Prime takes on Scourge with the help of Noah, but he still has his badass moments. Plus, Noah and Prime working together completed their character arcs in the film, so I'll give it a pass. It's not perfect, like I said. In fact, there are a few pacing issues, especially in the first and second acts. However, it's packed with enough giant robot fighting fun to make it a joyful way to spend a couple of hours. So, with that in mind, my rating is a 7 out of 10. God damn it, Milo. I have no idea. Milo, what happened? Okay, then.
Dad, shut up about Transformers. Bitch.
Joan? Who is
So,
Joan?
Talk
John's
about
going to read the dude
Transmorphers instead. Oh, God.
No,
So,
Gladiformers.
Gladiformers. Mama said knock you out. So John is going to read the dude himself, the right dude, his review
Yes.
of
I had to check on TLC's Waterfalls. When she was thinking TLC Waterfalls, I'm like, was that out by 94? But sure enough, it came out in 94.
All right. So, right dude's opinion on Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Even though I grew up as a child from the 90s with Power Rangers, Pokemon, Batman, and hell, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers as well as Beast Wars wasn't my thing. I was aware of the franchise, but it never grabbed me as much as the childhood franchises I mentioned before. That, and with the exception of the first one, I wasn't a big on the Bayformer films that I have seen. I haven't seen Transformers 4 and 5 and have no plans to watch either one. However, Bumblebee was a welcome surprise to me and started to turn the live-action Transformers films for me. With that and the fact that it is not part of the Bayformers era and a sequel to Bumblebee gave me hope for this one. After seeing it, I can say that I had a fun time with this. It has problems, and I still prefer Bumblebee more, but this one was still a fun time. First off, unlike the Bayformer films, the action scenes were a blast. Sure, the final battle at the end turns into one big CGI fest, but you expect that in a Transformers film. Also, unlike the Bayformer films, you can see the fight. There is no obnoxious shaky cam mixed with zoomed in shots, and I can see what the hell is going on. Speaking of things that were actually improved from the previous films, the jokes were actually funny. I was afraid that Pete Davidson as Mirage would be annoying at first. For the record, I'm not a Pete Davidson fan outside of SNL and The King of Staten Island, but he wasn't. In fact, it had his great moments and even made me laugh at times. The human characters were very well done for the most part. Sure, some weren't super interesting and could be seen as walking tropes like the nerdy girl, but others, like the main character Noah, is very likable and very interesting. That is a lot coming from a Transformers film where the human characters are only there to progress the story and the Transformers are the main stars. Noah is a great character that is struggling to survive the city life and care for his younger brother. You can tell he cares for his family and even commits illegal activities to survive, like stealing cars. Not to mention, he and Mirage have excellent chemistry together. Also, say what you want about the human characters here, but at least they weren't super annoying like other human characters in this film franchise. I'm looking at you, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Also, since this film takes place in 1994, I was afraid that the film would be like Captain Marvel and be littered with constant annoying 90s references. However, it never bothered me. Hell, there were some references like the younger brother having a Power Ranger shirt on and playing the OG Game Boy. That reminded me of something I would have at that age with me playing the OG Game Boy and being a Power Rangers fan. Hell, even when Noah and his brother used code names Sonic and Tails, that put a smile on my face, seeing it as I'm a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan. No, really? The CGI is very well done for the most part, and I like how the Autobots, Terrabots, and especially the Maximals look. The voice acting from Peter Cullen, Peter Dinklage, Ron Perlman, and even Oscar-winning actress Michelle Yeoh were all fantastic. The story isn't anything to write home about. Good guys need to get world-destroying MacGuffin before the bad guys do. But again, it's to be expected for a Transformers film. You don't go into this for a great story or interesting characters, but rather to see the Transformers kicking ass. If I had any complaints, is that it did get predictable at times. The moment that Bumblebee was taken out at the beginning of the film, I knew he was going to come back and save the day during the final fight. I also thought that the pacing in the second act could have been paced more smoothly, not saying it's bad, but it could have been better, and I think Bumblebee did it better. However, while I still prefer Bumblebee more than this movie, it's still a fun time. Sure, it has issues with moments being predictable moments and some pacing issues, but it still has fun action scenes and fun moments that will keep you entertained. If you're a Transformers fan and disappointed with the Bayformers films, this should be the movie for you to make up for them. However, even if you are not a Transformers fan like me, this film is still a fun summer popcorn movie to check out. P.S. When Noah got Mirage's Transformer powers during the final fight, was it just me or did he look like a white-suited Mega Man? Just curious. LOL. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's only 7.5 out of 10.
Well, that's what it said on Letterboxd.
Oh.
7.5. He liked it the
Oh.
most out of all of us.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, even though I brought up that I don't like how some of the Transformers got stereotyped, it's not a, hey, what am I going to do? Should just cop no. Oh, we got a bunch of cabinets after y'all, not me. Not, it's,
Did you even
it's
say words, Devin? Because I didn't hear words.
the whole, we? No, we don't do much, we. Or there was no, what's cracking, little bitches? Like, there was none of that, because I don't think the director of this movie is racist.
Although he is black, so, although black people can be racist, so you never know, but
Yeah, look at
he made
Ruckus
the one white character that showed up to be kind of racist, so there is that, but
Oh yeah, that.
Whoopsie daisies. Anywho, I do find it to be kind of funny that Blue Beetle is coming out this year, yet this movie had it beat by 2 months with a Hispanic in a mech suit, in an alien mech suit. So, what are you gonna do? Poor Blue Beetle. But yeah, this was a good time.
Beat Mega Man first.
No, G.I. Joe, Rome. When that revealed, because I'm like, okay, this has to be something. I thought they were gonna connect it to the Bayformers movie with that secret underground base, and where they had the Megatron and the big ice block or whatever.
Too. Yeah.
I thought they were setting up that, and then when I saw G.I. Joe, I audibly said, "Fuck off!" Like, come on, really? We're doing G.I. I'm like, as long as it doesn't connect to the 3 previous shitty fucking G.I. Joe movies, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm sure it won't. They've already they ditched that a long time ago. Damn.
Yeah. Well, it could connect to Snake Eyes. Who knows?
That was yet another franchise. The Rock. I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess no one can spell what The Rock was cooking. Another bomb.
Exactly.
I didn't grow up with. It's weird. I didn't grow up with G.I. Joe either.
I did.
I had the big G.I. Joes from the 60s, because my dad had them. So I had his old one, and then I got one for my birthday one year, and I played with those. But I never played with the 80s little figurines or anything like that. I don't think I even watched the show, but I kind of like G.I. Joe.
Well, look, you got to understand. See, I grew up in the 80s. Those 2 cartoons came on back to back. It was Transformers, G.I. Joe. They were just kind of associated in everybody's minds because they came on back to back like that. So, and plus they're both Hasbro. They've been talking about this for years, So, it was not even. I even heard the spoiler. I already knew it was coming. So,
yeah, I didn't hear the spoiler, so that surprised me. I'm like, G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Okay.
And it even had Steve Lombard from Man of Steel as the guy, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I forget his name, Richard Kelly or something like that.
I don't know. I forget. He's a pretty good actor, though.
Michael Kelly.
He had a
I think
familiar
it's Michael
face.
Kelly.
Yeah.
He's been in a ton of stuff.
He really has. Yeah. He's one of those actors. see them everywhere. But I mean, yeah, it didn't surprise me. I mean, honestly, even if I hadn't seen the spoiler, I probably would have guessed it. So I mean, yeah, but I think
The
it's pretty cool.
Hasbro universe. Yep.
I mean, G.I. Joe was never realistic anyway. Come on, man. I mean, so I mean, it kind of makes sense to have them in the same universe. It does. So,
I mean, didn't Hasbro try and make it like a Battleship movie?
they did.
They
did
did,
make one with
and it was
Rihanna.
bad. It had
Yeah.
fucking Rihanna in it, and they ruined
Oh.
AC/DC. Fuck them.
I mean, it could be worse. The next movie could be Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Don't give them
Or
ideas,
Monopoly.
Evan.
A
Monopoly,
Monopoly movie. I
Yeah.
heard that was in development. I heard that was in development like years ago. I mean, we're already getting
Also
Barbie.
on Power Rangers, so I wonder if they're going to connect that too.
But I mean, since you
Oh
know,
my
what,
god, if this connects to Barbie, I'm fucking throwing things off a goddamn cliff. I know it's two different companies, but fuck them.
no, they won't. No, but I mean, shit. But it didn't surprise me at all. I'm kind of glad. I'm interested in seeing what they do with it now. So, but I mean, I'm sure they'll go with.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Well, I mean, the old ones took place in the modern day, and these are taking place in like the 80s and 90s and shit, you know. So, I mean,
But it could lead to them. Because I don't know.
Mhm.
Because it's still like a mystery on if these are going to connect to the Bayformer movies or not. So
I'll see how they would in different
who
timelines.
knows? I mean, on Letterboxd, they had Rise of the Beasts 2 and 3. I'm like, did they already
I
make
doubt that.
sequels?
I doubt that. That's just 2 sequels. That's, I mean, if anything, at the most, that just says they're planning on 2 sequels, not, you know.
Mhm.
I doubt they're going to be
Yeah,
called
this one
Rise
makes some money.
3. Yeah. I think this
I don't
one-
know if they will. I will say
mean, it
there
only
were a
made 9
few people
million
in my
so
theater, but
far.
not a ton. There were some very annoying, stereotypical people in my theater that were like, "Oh my god," or "That's crazy." Like, okay, we don't need a play-by-play. Like, shut the fuck up before I beat your ass.
Exactly. Fuck those people. Don't
Yeah.
I don't
Those
want
are
to
the Michael Bay
at all.
Okay, look,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I yelled hell yeah when Bumblebee came back.
Me too. I like that moment, especially when
Yeah.
you heard.
I
LL
liked
Cool
it
J.
when he said,
That
"I've
was
come here to
awesome.
kick ass." I'm like,
Yeah,
ah,
seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, same here.
Same-
They
I was
live
waiting
is
for the
They
whole-
Live is one of my favorite
Here to
movies.
kick
So
ass.
Yeah.
woo!
I mean, I liked it when they quoted Die Hard too. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay. Yeah,
I
that
hope
was
somebody
awesome.
does a compilation of all the lines because I missed a couple, but that was fun.
Prime telling Bumblebee, I don't want you going to that drive-in theater anymore. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that was
That was a
hilarious.
good one, yeah.
I don't want you going to that drive-in theater anymore. Damn.
I like how we got a confirmation that did connect to Bumblebee the movie when Optimus told him about, like, yeah, I know he had the interaction with that human that last, mentioned the last movie.
Yeah.
That was like the only reference to Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought that was kind of weird that she's just gone now. I mean,
Yeah.
when was that one set? It was sometime in the 80s, wasn't it?
Well,
they
they
There's
said
like 80
7 years, so I assume 1987.
Yeah.
It was sometime in the 80s, I know. I mean, so.
I did like that they picked and choose what Transformers to use this time instead of throwing in like a bunch at the wall. Like, just kind of pick who
Yeah.
they wanted in this movie. That's one thing I noticed about that I liked was that they didn't have too many cluttered Transformer characters in this.
You just had a small group. I think that's probably about best. That's what
Mhm. That made
Yeah,
a lot
and
of
you-
sense.
And you didn't see like the typical antagonists. Like you didn't see like Megatron. You didn't see Starscream.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was actually
was
kind of
New,
nice. to
it
have
was
a
new antagonists. I'm like, all right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
new antagonist. It's not.
I mean,
Megatron.
technically we've seen Unicron before, but wasn't it revealed in like the Bayformer movies that Earth was Unicron or something like that? Or
Yeah,
something
I
stupid
think so.
like that?
There was 4 or
It
5.
wasn't that in Revenge of the Fallen? No, that was when they were trying to bring Cybertron, or they were trying to make Earth into Cybertron or something.
That was the
something
5th
weird
one,
like
right?
that. Yeah.
I think it was the 5th
Yeah.
one.
Oh, speaking of that, I actually liked how they referenced Mark Wahlberg. I'm like, that's funny.
Yep.
That's cute.
That's a good one. Yeah,
What's
Marky Mark.
going on?
What's going
What's
on?
going on?
bad acting is going on. That's what's going on. Shit.
I mean, he was really good in Boogie Nights.
He was, he can act, and if he has a good script, but shit, he was good in that. But damn,
Not if he's working with M. Night Shyamalan or Michael Bay.
but I mean, how many, big budget movies has this guy ruined with his just complete lack of charisma? The Planet of the Apes remake, he was boring as shit in that. I mean, the fourth Bayformers film, he was awful in that. I mean,
guys, I think we found a transformer. Like that was in the trailer. That was supposed to sell the movie.
What?
I'm like,
no.
wow.
Yeah.
what's going on?
What? No.
Can you believe he's acting now? Mirage's quotes in that movie that he's dropped a fucking bunch to go to be an actor.
You told me
That
that
was hilarious.
I think the only thing I know about from the last night is Optimus Prime always saying, "I am Optimus Prime."
I am Optimus Prime.
Mark,
I mean, no matter
Mark,
what,
was
it's
it the
always
fifth
cool
one?
when Peter Cullen says that anyway.
What's
so.
that, man?
was it in Transformers 5? Was that the one when Optimus Prime became evil or something?
I think so,
Like,
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah. It was
'Cause it
so
was just a
fucking
giant.
weird.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
that
so
whole thing was just
stupid,
giant.
man. God, I really fucking hated that one. Dear
Me
God.
too.
I mean, I hated the fourth one because, for one thing, I felt kind of cheated. I mean, I did like Galvatron. I'm like, damn, Galvatron's badass. But I mean, I felt cheated because I was promised Dinobots. I didn't get Dinobots until like the last 5 fucking minutes and shit. So I felt kind of cheated. And even then, I didn't think they were very good Dinobots either. I wanted the traditional Dinobots, me, Grimlock and shit. You know, I mean, damn. I wanted that Grimlock, man. I'm sorry. I don't care how if it would work. Shit, it's fucking Transformers. Do it anyway.
How'd you feel about Unicron though? Because I know you grew up watching the '80s version. Like,
Yeah,
best
Unicron
Unicron
came a
version.
little later. I'm aware of them though. I mean, God, I think they came up with Unicron. I think it was after the Transformers the movie. I think
Oh,
that was,
really?
wasn't it?
No, I thought it was in the movie because he takes Megatron and makes him Galvatron.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I
So
could think
I
of the
mean,
TV
yeah,
series, but yeah,
that '80s Transformers movie is still the best. Transformers.
Oh yeah,
I
although I
100%
do really
agree.
like Bumblebee,
Seriously,
it's to me. It's
they actually
even
had
though they
balls-
just ripped off Star Wars, but everyone was ripping off Star Wars at the time. So
No, I
it's
mean they
like,
had the balls to kill Optimus Prime. Gotta give them that
Yeah.
shit.
I died for your sins.
He did. Like a robot cheese. baby.
Yep.
yeah. Were you pissed when like they
although
killed
to be
Optimus Prime?
oh, sorry. All right,
It's okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Everybody.
'Cause I
was,
know.
dear God.
Yeah, because I remember hearing like so many people were pissed in the theaters that they
Yeah.
killed him off.
Because I mean, because everybody was, because I mean, it's like, who's this dude? A hot rod? What the fuck? Nobody cares about him. He doesn't have any gravitas. Because the thing is, it was really kind of a stupid decision because the company wanted to do it because they wanted the younger one that kids could relate to. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You don't
And then he
tell us
became Rodimus Prime. so-
Rodimus Prime. Yeah, they took Hot
Rodimus?
Rod and made him Rodimus Prime.
Oh Jesus!
Because it was like, look, he's Luke Skywalker. Get it? It's like, all right. So it's just like
robot Jesus, man. Come on.
it's just like
Optimus had gravitas. Rodimus Prime did not.
because he's Peter Cullen. Like, why are you surprised?
Exactly. He
That-
had
that-
gravitas, man.
Bro, I wish I could have fucking sex with that voice. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. That voice, that dude had to be like a
Peter
fucking
Cullen voice.
goddamn panty dropper with that goddamn voice. Like, Jesus
Hell yeah.
Christ. That dude, I would love like a
What the shit?
I would love a conversation between him, Tony Todd, and like Morgan Freeman. That would just be like
Oh, jeez.
conversation.
Ooh,
Man,
that would be awesome.
that really would. Jeez.
And throw Keith David in there. Sure.
Oh, damn. The voice of Darth Vader. Don't forget him.
James
James
Earl
Earl
Jones.
Jones.
Earl Jones, baby. Shit.
James Earl
This
Jones,
dude was the
yeah.
voice of Vader, fucking Mufasa, and this is CNN.
Okay.
I'm serious. I mean, Rome, that's sure you remember that shit back in the 90s. This is CNN. I mean, just his voice and shit. Everybody looked, damn, that's James Earl Jones.
And also, guys, I mean, no one here probably have watched Transformers animated because that was like mid 2000s. Because the Transformers shows I watched were on Cartoon Network. There was an episode where there was a Transformer named Wreck-Gar, and he was voiced by none other than Weird Al Yankovic.
I mean, they used Dare to Be Stupid in the original movies, so
yeah, there's even a point where he says, "I am Wreck-Gar. I dare to be stupid."
and everything comes full circle. I would say that's the only thing bad about Bumblebee is that they didn't have Dare to Be Stupid in the credits. They just had some generic pop song. I'm like, guys, come on. Everything could have come full circle.
Yeah.
I'm curious of where they used Dare to Be Stupid because I haven't seen the.
I mean, they used the touch. That shouldn't even be possible because the touch was made for the Transformers movie. So how the hell that works, I don't know. You had Stan Bush, the touch. Fucking, you should have used Dare to Be Stupid, you assholes. But outside of that, it's a great movie. But you know,
I mean, it could be a lot worse. They could use the Transformers song that Chris Brown did.
I wonder if they're going to do. It seems like they're doing what the X-Men films were doing, kind of jumping forward almost a decade or so. So I guess they'll go to the 2000s next.
But here it like kind of makes sense because they're robots. They don't age. It's just that somehow Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy
did not
look the same over 4 decades.
Exactly.
Like I get they're mutants, but like you could like at least give them like a little bit of makeup.
Yeah, they went all the way up to the 90s with like Dark Phoenix in the 90s and shit. It's like,
and like Cuban Missile Crisis was early 60s
just a few years before X-Men, because the first X-Men film it said in the not too distant future. You know, in other words,
next Sunday AD.
Exactly. I mean, seriously. So I mean, this is like probably 10, maybe 15 years before then. And what did they age that much? I mean, come on.
Well, it's like I mean, look at Kenobi. Like he looks like he fucking looks like Alex Guinness in fucking 9 years. Like, come on, guys.
Sure.
They should have aged him a little bit. I expected him. I wish they would have at least made his hair a little more gray.
They should have. Like the only thing
he
we
just
got
looks like Obi-Wan 4 years later.
Yeah.
The only thing we got with the X-Men movies is that he went bald, but like that's it. But like he didn't look any older.
No, he did not. He did not. But I mean, I was thinking about Obi-Wan, but still, yeah. I mean,
no. I know. I'm just going back to X-Men. Like it's just like the way the aging was so dumb.
There was no reason to have that time jump in there. Up to 10 years for every movie. It's like, what the hell?
By the way, here's a question. Going back to the topic of the thing we're actually talking about. But how big was the audience in your theater for this movie? Because I didn't have a big crowd because everyone was still seeing Across the Spider-Verse.
I would say like a good handful of people. Like not a lot, but like a decent amount.
Yeah.
I would say like maybe a dozen other people, maybe a little bit less.
I'd say it was about maybe half full. Maybe half full. I mean, I don't know. I saw an article that said they're battling it out for first place. So, I mean, I don't know. Apparently, it's not doing too bad.
Including myself, probably like 12 people or maybe 10 people who saw it.
Yeah, I think that was about the same.
That was it.
Same for me. Maybe 15.
Yeah.
Mark, did you ever watch the Beast Wars back in the 90s? Or at least checked it out?
I watched a little bit of it. You know. I was a little confused by it. It was like, damn, because I didn't get down all the story, but I watched a little bit of it, you know. But because from what I gather, they're like from the future, but they went back in time or something like that.
Yeah, they didn't really establish the timing thing. They just established as like they just went back through like dinosaur time and like they just became dinosaurs and maximum animals and like that was the story. And then they're trying to figure out how to get back home and fighting the Dinobots and that kind of stuff. But even though the CG and the animation was not as good as it, doesn't hold up well today, the story was so good because they weren't afraid to kill characters off and leaving things in a cliffhanger. Like that's where the show, and to me, really goes like the story.
Yeah, I wish they need to make a movie for that. They need to make a spin-off for that. I mean,
Like I know
just
they
go
brought
back.
them in the yeah.
Yeah, I'd say just go back in time and have them, do one. I mean, shit. There you go.
Yeah.
Do like a prequel.
Because the
or
Netflix
something.
one, they brought the Beast Wars in. The Netflix animation transform, they brought them in last year, called Beast Kingdom, because that was like a prequel to like before they left to Earth from Cybertron, and that was such a great story. Well,
Yeah.
they ended up going into Earth, but that's when they met the Maximals and the Predacons, and they kind of established like, hey, there's two Megatrons and all this other stuff that was going on.
Damn.
It's really good though.
I mean, Transformers has been going more or less strong. I mean, they keep coming back. So I mean, who doesn't love giant robots? So
oh, absolutely, giant robots beating shit up.
Yeah, I think it seems interesting. They're kind of trying to piggyback a GI Joe revival onto this, on the success of this film franchise. So
Fourth time's the charm, I guess.
Yeah.
But guys, we might get a ROM movie. Aren't you excited?
A what?
A
ROM.
ROM?
Yeah.
Red ROM?
Rob?
ROM comedy?
No, it's hold on. You don't know ROM? Jesus. And I thought I was an idiot.
I don't know. Romulus?
Romulus and Remus. No idea what you're talking about.
Hold on.
So how about those jets?
Instead of Rome's, it's Roms.
Rom the Space Knight.
I'm not sure I'd follow.
Exactly. Never heard.
Tisk. You don't know Rom.
No.
No.
No clue. I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I've never heard of a ROM.
Who?
Same.
Who?
Here.
But damn. There's really not much else to talk about.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
it
nothing really.
is.
To me, it was just, the action was good, but just nothing really like stood up besides the
I mean,
ending.
I
with the
did
spoiler of
like
G.I.
the
Joe.
climax. That
We
was
all
a
knew
fun
Bumblebee
climax.
was coming out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Bumblebee.
I mean, it was
Bumblebee
pretty
part,
much
too.
revealed in the
And then
trailer
music, just
that
him
he
jumping on.
died.
Yeah.
So, like, we all knew he was gonna die, but then obviously he comes back later. So, they have.
Well,
to
as
have
soon
him
as they
back.
talk about the Energon and saying, it would take a blast more powerful than.
I'm like, okay, when's the blast gonna
Obviously
happen?
they're gonna happen. Yes. So, obviously that's
Mm-hmm.
So, but
I know the lead actress, the female actress. Like, I just didn't know if she was going to be like a love interest to Noah.
Yeah.
They
just kinda
tried to make her a love
going
interest, but
thing.
like it just didn't work.
yeah.
Like she was just
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
she was like Punchy the extra dimensional lesbian. She just fucking was there to be a plot device. She was just
Oh,
there to be
man.
like, oh hey, archaeology, I'm here too. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hi, bye.
I'm hot archaeology chick.
She the
wasn't even
extra
that hot.
dimensional lesbian. My God, I will never get over that.
That's funny.
It's true though.
Yeah, she's the. It's weird. A lot of the Transformers movies I've seen, they always involve some kind of like a. Hey, we gotta go across the world to grab this.
Yeah, there's always
this MacGuffin because to
Jeremy
save the
John said
world.
best. Yeah, there's always a thing.
It's a fetch
Always-
quest.
yeah.
It's like, all right. I mean, it's not Rise of Skywalker levels of bad, but like, it's like, come on, at least try to come up with something unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
easy for her to figure out the clues and the key, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like, damn.
You already knew he was gonna get it in the end and use it, and they were gonna
Yeah.
stop. Last one, of course, but I mean that's where the predictable part. But they managed to make it fun anyway.
Yeah, like it's
Right.
still like enjoyable,
Yeah.
even if predictable, messy, kind of, like it's Like we're not like saying like, oh, it's perfectly fine. Like it's
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
okay to have a turn your brain off fun
Yeah.
movie that doesn't try to be anything more.
I mean,
But
yeah,
like but like what it has, like it's a good turn your brain, but it still has that little bit of oomph to not make it like totally generic, like
Mm.
Marvel, like shitty Marvel, like like it
Mm-hmm.
still has that little bit of like, okay, I'm invested with what's going on. It's like that you have that little bit of investment. Like you
Yeah.
still
Right.
like these characters, you still get to know them. As you said, they have good chemistry. It's it like still
Yeah.
like works.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I was trying to say. I mean, even though it has some of those same elements, they do them very well. For the most
Yeah.
part. So yeah, I mean, it's predictable, but it's still fun. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like you give it a handicap because you don't expect much because it's a Transformers film. I
Mhm.
mean,
Right.
I mean, I want more from this too. I want to see more of what they do in the future
Yeah.
with Transformers. This is a good
Yeah.
start. Like,
I'd like to see a Beast Wars spinoff. I'd like to see
yeah.
I'd like to see a next. I'm sure they're going to bring in Megatron for the next one. They're going to have to.
Yeah.
Megatron and some of the rest. So
Like, I'm hoping to just reintroduce Megatron and just ignore the Bay trilogy or the Bay
yeah,
franchise.
exactly. Just to
Like-
ignore completely. Please make him the gun. Don't make him a jet. Make him the damn gun. Make him the damn.
But Mark, Gunn's bad.
I don't care.
Oh yeah.
They literally
Agenda.
have guns on their thing. Oh man.
Yeah, it's like they have.
I was happy there was no
'cause-
agenda,
no, I
though.
thought didn't he also like turn into a tank for like a short period of time? It's like he was originally a gun. I know that because originally he just had the gun, but then they put the orange tip at the end.
Yeah.
Then he turned into a tank. I thought.
Yeah.
Was it Bayformers that made it a jet for some reason?
Yeah, it was a Bayformers.
Because wasn't Starscream a jet?
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
That's so repetitive. What the fuck?
And the thing that gets me is they said, "Oh, that's not realistic that he could turn that small." I'm like, come on, it's a Transformers film. Nobody
It's a story
cares.
about giant robots who turn into
No,
cars.
a
and shoot
giant
each other.
robot like Mirage
That's
somehow
it.
turned into a human-sized mech suit. Like, come on, nobody's
I mean,
like.
exactly. I mean,
It turned into a garbage truck,
And
man.
then somehow he
Garbage truck
takes
too,
that
yeah.
mech suit and
Exactly.
turns it back into a car. Like, are we really questioning
What?
the suspension of disbelief here?
to be fair, with the garbage truck, that could have been a Mirage. So,
No, I mean like he was.
but I
went
mean,
from a
honestly,
car
but yeah,
to
I
the
get
mech
what you're
suit.
saying though. Yeah, if they could do that shit, then
And
they
then,
could do
like
it.
at the end, the mid-credit scene,
Yeah.
he somehow turned him back into a car. Like, how the fuck is that
Exactly.
possible? How do you?
Exactly.
What? I'm sorry.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, if you exactly, that's the thing. I mean, just you're already suspending your disbelief. Why not just go ahead and do the miniaturization? I mean, shit. I think one of the best things is they actually look like Transformers now.
Yes.
Whereas
Yep.
in the Bayformers films, it was just a mess. I mean, they just look
Yeah,
like
like it just like.
yeah.
They're slowly looking more
I
like
get
a
it. They
G1
like
look.
we want to make it look like aliens, but it's like I don't give a fuck. Give me
Yeah, exactly.
give me cars.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, remember how bad the Ninja Turtles looked?
Oh God.
Let's not talk about that.
Please no.
Why does Donatello wear glasses? He's the smart one. Get it?
Yeah, and now they're
Did you say that name?
and now they're doing that with
Hold on,
every
my
fucking like incarnation. Because in the upcoming Mutant Mayhem, they're giving him glasses, and in the Nickelodeon show, they gave him glasses. It's like, why does he need glasses? He is a radioactive mutant turtle. What the fuck?
And
It's like
why
giving
does,
Wheeljack glasses. It doesn't make sense.
and why does Raph have a bandana and a scar on his lip? Because he's the bad one, and Mikey's the cool
Mhm.
one, and Leonardo is
The honest
Leader.
all-around leader.
The Boy Scout, the good guy. No, the good loyal son.
He's the leader,
That type.
the responsible one.
Yeah, the leader.
Yeah,
That's it. The responsible one.
that's
I-
right.
I will say
Raphael,
the
one
only
with the
good thing
red,
about
he's
Mutant
the
Mayhem
hothead.
is the animation. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
care about.
Raphael is the
Yeah,
hothead,
I
and
agree.
Michelangelo is the goofball. Michelangelo
And
is the-
Donatello does machines. Now,
Yeah.
however you plan to take that, remember they're teenagers.
Like the robot chicken sketch. Can you fuck it? What? Can you fuck it? No. Oh, fuck it.
I would say just watch them do a Transformers and Ninja Turtles crossover, but they're not owned by the same people.
No, they're not.
Because I'm pretty
No, I
sure
do
I'm
see
pretty
them
sure in
trying to
the
do it.
'80s, because I mean, Rob, you could probably comment since you grew up since you were '80s,
Yeah.
'90s, and so could Mark.
Right.
But remember,
Yeah.
like it was always like the toy commercials. It was always like Ninja Turtles and Transformers.
Ninja Turtles, Transformers, He-Man, G.I. Joe.
Yep, exactly.
And
Early
with how
ages of Transformers,
how
Star Wars.
much of a fucking mess He-Man is, they're not even going to
Oh
touch
god,
that.
no.
Yeah,
No, they're never gonna. No.
They continue to try, but it's just not happening.
I
It's
think
not.
they have a live action movie in development hell for years now.
No, it's been in development hell for over 20 years, man. There have been so many people attached to that. Noah Centineo, who was in Black Adam, at one time was attached to be He-Man, dodged a bullet. Dear God.
And even then, Noah Centineo would have been a horrible He-Man.
He really, that's what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
dodged a bullet there. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus,
mean,
man.
Yeah, that was, oh God, that would have been awful.
See, I can see the Transformers make sense crossing over with the Power Rangers because they're both owned by Hasbro. So I can see them, because they have Megazords
Power
and that
Rangers.
kind of stuff. So it's like
Super Sentai
Sentai.
reruns.
Yeah.
I could kind of enjoy the old Masters of the Universe film, ironically, because it's even. I was really disappointed at the time because everybody was, because it took place on fucking Earth. Nobody wants to see Earth. We want to see this shithole. We want to see fucking Eternia, man.
Right.
But I mean, so we want to see fucking Eternia, man. We don't want to see fucking humans and Earth and shit. We don't want to see this shithole. But I mean,
we gotta have it relate to the audiences, Mark.
fuck that. Nobody cares about that, man.
As a friend of mine said one time, the first 10 minutes of Bumblebee was the greatest Transformers movie we ever got because it was just a giant battle on Cybertron.
Bingo.
Yep. Absolutely.
They should do that, honestly.
We can still win
Warcraft
to see Cybertron
War
too.
for Cybertron, and just have it be nothing but Cybertron. No humans, nothing.
That's
No.
what
A
the
human
Netflix
crash
series
lands
did,
on Cybertron, and he has to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
out.
They'll give them
Fuck that.
ideas, but they're probably working on it now.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, shit.
Because Cybertron works so well in the animated movie, the animated show from Netflix. They did a whole thing on Cybertron, so I would love them to do them in the movies.
Yeah, that would be nice to see. But
Although I do like how they did have how essentially it was, even though it wasn't in a real location, I do appreciate the fact that the entire climax took place in a rock quarry. I'm like, hey, like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. Perfect. I'm like, hey, there's the rock quarry. If only it was a real rock quarry and not a CGI bloated rock quarry. But you know what? Take your battles as you see them.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm just hoping Megatron actually looks like Megatron. And just give me the gun. Give me the
Me
damn
too.
gun. Exactly.
Yeah, I'd rather see the gun.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. I need that voice. I need that Megatron voice. Do as I demand.
No.
Who was the
John?
Was Frank Welker the original voice for Megatron? Was that Frank Welker?
Frank Welker. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank.
All right.
Okay.
It's weird to think Fred, the guy who voiced Fred and later Scooby Doo, is Megatron, and Ace the Bat Hound.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't fuck with Frank Welker.
Man, 77 years old.
And he's still kicking ass. Him and Peter
Still
Cullen.
kicking ass. Exactly.
Yep.
Seriously. Hugo, I gotta say, Hugo Weaving had a pretty good Megatron voice. Because I mean, he's fucking Hugo Weaving. But I mean,
He's V, goddammit.
exactly.
He's Agent Smith.
Exactly.
And he was in Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. He's
He was.
fucking Lord Elrond, bitch.
Elrond. I was like, hang
Lord
on.
Elrond,
What's his name?
Lord Elrond.
Cast it into the fire.
He's like,
Destroy it.
he's like, nah. Gandalf's like, oh no, Rod, we have to save Middle Earth and work with the humans. He's like, nah, fuck that. Fuck these humans. He's like, nah, fuck these people. We're going home, man. You're on your own. Fuck you. Fuck them.
The real Lord of the Ring was the river.
Yeah, exactly. The real Lord of the Rings was the friends we met along the way.
I think
We
that's
were-
everybody's favorite meme.
There's a bit of Decepticon in all of us.
Oh, of course.
I will say that's definitely one of the best jokes from Bumblebee, where John Cena was just like, I mean, I don't know if I trust these guys. Their name is Decepticon. It's literally in the name. Like, I'm not sure. And he's just like questioning. It's like, why are we working with these guys? Oh, that was a good one. John Cena was great in Bumblebee. He was really funny.
He was. Forgot he was in that movie because you couldn't see him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do we have anything else to talk about for Transformers: Rise of the Beast besides go see it in theaters?
Go see
Yeah,
it.
check it out. Check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out like a low
Check it out.
matinee.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a fun movie.
see it for a matinee.
It'll make you trust Transformers, the live action movies again.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice to be able to have that back.
Mhm.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
Fuck off.
So what's
Michael Bay.
next on the agenda?
Stay tuned next Saturday
Next
for
Saturday,
another review hosted by Rome, and that is
The
of
Flash.
The Flash.
Well, Batman 3. It was called
Oh God. Oh God. I'm gonna be sick to my stomach.
I'm gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to incriminate myself. You know what? I'm not gonna fucking say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
Dude, there were 6 fucking trailers they played last night. The first 3 were just ass. Back to back to back. It was
Yeah,
Dalji-
it was for me. It
Dalji
was
for geriatric. There was the Flash was the third one. I forget what the second one was.
Probably Batman and Supergirl.
No, it was the Flash was the third one, and I forget what the second one was. But I mean,
Yeah,
then they finally got to Oppenheimer, and I'm like, finally some good fucking food.
that's what happened with me. I
Seriously.
got in. We got in a little bit late, and we got in like right when the Flash trailer was starting, and we're like, and I'm like, fucking kill me. And
Yeah.
then the TNT Mutant Mayhem.
Oh
fucking
yeah,
trailer.
that was the
Yeah.
fifth one. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck this. And then we got the Dead Reckoning trailer. I'm like,
Yes.
oh my God. Thank
That was the
fucking
last
Christ.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
that
the
was the last
last
one.
one they played. I'm like,
That
hell
was
yeah.
one, yeah.
End on
Oh
a
my
good note.
God. Finally, a good fucking movie. Jesus Christ.
Finally, some good fucking food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was, oh my God. You know, it's bad when I prefer the fucking Scientology's poster child than Groomy McChair throw. So, you know.
We also have is it the week after that we have the Wes Anderson film,
Dial,
Asteroid City.
Astro.
Asteroid City. Does that come out?
that-
also?
That's not the week after. That's not the week after next week. That's after that because most of us won't be available that day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That will be on a Wednesday, and then that same week we have Dial G for geriatric.
You.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Just saying, I know I said this to you guys backstage, but for my showing, it's 7:00 opening day for Dial G for geriatric.
When she says in that trailer,
There's only 4 of us in the theater.
oh my God, there was
Oh man. See, I
you stole it.
yeah.
That's called capitalism. Shut the fuck up. Oh
I have to admit, I read the spoilers for this.
Hell,
movie.
how
It's
do you
not-
do, fellow kids? We also hate the capitalism. We also want
you
to
are
smash
capitalism.
the
You're a
patriarchy.
fucking blockbuster film. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Disney agendas, am I right?
Yeah.
Agenda
How do you do,
is-
fellow kids? We will include this gay kiss in the background that we will conveniently cut out for the trailer.
Agenda!
That's the thing they're not trying to do real representation. They're just fucking cynical. They just want fucking dollars. That's all.
So funny is that these people that constantly complain about not having like their bullshit in movies aren't gonna go see the fucking movies anyway. They're just gonna complain about something else. So it's like you're fucked.
I mean,
So-
I think representation is important, but at the
Oh
same
yeah,
time,
but
do
it's
it
just
right.
not like the way they do it is just so like it's
Yeah,
just
the way
like,
they do
hey,
it
look
is
at this thing in the
cynical.
background.
Exactly. They
Look,
just do
two
it.
guys holding
Yeah.
hands. Aren't we so
Exactly.
progressive?
Like I said, it's
Hey,
just
look,
a
we're cool
cynical
too.
cash grab. That's all it is. So
All right,
Yeah, we're
let's not
making
go
out.
too far with this.
anyway,
Let's
Yeah.
remember,
cut this.
before we go, Wu-Tang is for the kids.
Hell yeah.
Rome gets it. This guy gets it. Wu-Tang,
Hell yeah.
motherfuckers. Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with.
Wu-Tang.
They will do a blow bang on somebody if asked.
So next weekend, get your restrainers orders out. If you're not Hawaii, we'll be reviewing The Flash.
Hawaii, you know what's worse than one Ezra Miller? Two Ezra Millers.
Millers.
Maybe that's why my parents. Maybe that's why my parents left Hawaii a month after I was born. Jesus Christ!
It's a known fact. You're more likely to be attacked by Ezra Miller than a great white shark.
Look, technically, yeah,
Absolutely.
than any shark actually. Shit.
The shark would be scared of Ezra Miller.
Hell yeah, dear God, it's fucking Ezra Miller. Like, holy shit, it's Ezra Miller.
Where did that chair come from?
Run away.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This guy kidnaps and beats kids up.
Seriously. what
And
the
then
fuck?
tries to, I'm not going to go too far with it.
What gets me is people defending him like, oh, they already proved that stuff was exaggerated. Shut the fuck up. Man.
We have the Flash review to say all of this.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's just wait.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're all gonna be
They wouldn't
angry.
They won't even let him do any interviews. Just take photos with fans, which I don't know what fans want to take photos with them, but that was his press
Defend
thing.
people,
That
the
was their
same
thing.
assholes who defended Amber Turd.
Yeah.
All the simps.
You piss me off, I'll take a shit in your bed.
Anyway, this is getting a little bit carried too far. Let's just try to end this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. So, Autobots, roll out.
Roll out.
Have a good
Roll
one,
and roll
everybody.
out, comrade.
Roll out.
Peace.
Deceptic.
Roll out.
Once again, we have brought peace, justice, and security to our